All right. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halayim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makar Kodas. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who taught us the truth. Honors and salutations to all sincere Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, laboring in honesty, sincerity, charity, sound doctrine. To the Akwatim and to the children that believe on the true names of the Father and the Son, whose the Father's name is Yahweh, he exists. The Son's name is Yahweh Shai, he is the deliverer. All right, my name is Maka Allah Bun Gad Ben Yashala. I'm at the Watchman Philadelphia camp, and I came across a little bit of history for Philadelphia, and it basically goes to this place we call Kensington, man, which is a real messed up, drug infested area, man. And it's a park called McPherson Square, where you get a lot of addicts that go in there and shoot drugs, smoke drugs, do all types of wicked acts. Which that place was actually a plantation, man. And before it was a plantation, it was a Lenape Indian hunting ground, you know. So I'm gonna read a little bit of the article because the article is pretty long, and I'm gonna just touch on some key points because I don't want it to be too long, but I'll let the spirit, take us where it's gonna take us. But I want to bring out first, so you know that the Lord, we was here first in this country. All right, this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 13, verse 44. It says, "For the Most High then shewed signs for them, and held still the flood, so they were passed over." So yeah, that's what the Lord did. He shewed signs. What was those signs? Those signs were the chariots for us to get over here to this so-called new world, what they call it, And he held back the floods for us. So he held back all the hurricanes and all that. So this is it says Philadelphia Stories. This guy's name is Bob McNulty. He looked like a hippie or some shit. Edomite dude, big beard. But this is actually the top of McPherson Park, which damn there, this is the winter time. All right. So that's it right there. And that actually, you know what? This place right here is what I call the mountain, man. I go in there and I just, pray and all that. And last night I was standing there looking at the sign, and I'm like, damn. So this actual picture is McPherson Square at 1890. So this was in 1890 when this picture was taken. All right, and just going to get into it, man. I'm gonna read this. So now just keep that in mind. That picture that I just showed you. All right, it says 230 years before 1890, McPherson Square was a Lenape Indian hunting ground. 200 years before 1890, McPherson Square was known to the Swedish settlers as Poor Island, man. Okay, why? Because what? The Indians were there, so they looked at us. They always looked down on us as we were poor. I'm a Gadite, man. So yeah, they looked down on all Israel, But it says 140 years before 1890, the land was a plantation called Keen's Place. All right. It says 100 years before 1890, the land was a dairy farm called Stoughton. And 5 years before 1890, the land was McPherson Square, man. All right. So we're going to hop right into this article, man, with this little, what they got. And I just brought out a couple keen things. Lord's willingness, this lesson will be edifying. All right. Let me fix that. All right. Okay. So lock it. It says McPherson Square in Kensington was once part of a 212-acre woodland known as Poor Island. Poor Island was completely encircled by a creek called Gunner's Run, and its offshoot. So Right now, what you got around here is a whole bunch of drug addicts. Yo, this area is poor, man. You got a lot of homelessness, man. So Poor Island, yo, is still a poor island, so to speak, man. If you walk down Kensington Ave, past McPherson, and all around here, you got shelters and people sleeping outside of shelters, people sleeping on the streets. You know, it's messed up out here, man. It's jacked up out here, yo. You know, and but Poor Island, when they gave it this name, man, that's spiritual, man. Because guess what? It's still a poor island, so to speak. You just don't got the creek surrounding it no more. And it said Gunners Run. So what you got? You got a lot of Ephraimites out here. So you got Confusion of Faces. You got Ephraim. You got Judah. You got the 12 tribes, basically. You know, all in this one area, man. And why I say called Gunners Run? Because a lot of these niggas, they call themselves shooters, man. It's a lot of shootings out here, and so on. All right, it says its boundaries stretch from current day Heartland and Frankfurt Ave to the south, B and Clearfield to the west, G and Venango to the north, and Schiller and Jasper to the east. So those are all streets or whatever. All right, it says by the mid 1600s, Poor Island. I was getting to what I read from the beginning. It says by the mid 1600s, Poor Island was used as a hunting ground by the Lenape Indians, who had a large village about 2 miles away from Saccamaxon. Living at Saccamaxon with the Indians were a handful of Swedish settlers, including Peter Nelson Laicon, also spelled Laicon. So check this out, man. And because these bastards was living amongst the Lenape Indians, the Gadites. You know, when we shouldn't even been living with the motherfuckers anyway. But this is Genesis chapter 49 and 19. This is the book of Genesis chapter 49:19. It says, Gad, a troop shall overcome him, and he shall overcome at the last. So yeah, we were overcame because we let these Swedish people live around amongst us, man. You know? We let these Swedish people live amongst us. All right? And they changed, first of all, they changed the names of the land. All right? Just basically removing the landmark. All right? Matter of fact, let's get there. And I hope I ain't rambling, man. I hope this making sense because I was so happy to come across this information. Like, yo, it was crazy. All right, this is Job chapter 24 and 2. It's the book of Job chapter 24, verse 2, and it reads, some remove the landmarks, they violently take away flocks and feed thereof. Okay, so now this was a Lenape hunting ground. All right, now, and I'm gonna read these scriptures real fast because when I opened up the lesson, I told you from 230 years all the way to 5 years how many times this place has been renamed and changed. All right, so let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 14. All right, and it reads, Thou shalt not remove thy neighbor's landmark, which they of old time have set in thine inheritance, which thou shalt inherit in the land that Yahweh Bashim Awashad our power giveth thee to possess. So that's going back to 2nd Ezra 13 and 44 when we came over here. The Lord held back the flood and all that. We came over here to what? To possess this land, man. So everything that we set up and all that, what Esau do, they took it down, man. So they removed our landmark. So let's go to the 27th chapter of Deuteronomy, 27 and 17, which says, Cursed be he that removeth his neighbor's landmark, and all the people shall say, so be it. Mom, I say, so be it. You know? So, yeah, guess what? Esau is going to be cursed. And you go to Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter. I'm going to say, let's see, man. When all the curses are starting to come off us. Yep, Deuteronomy 30 and 7. It says, I'm going to read it since I said it. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7, it says, and Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So look, what they do when they came, they took the land. We're going to get into it even further more in the lesson, all right? But yeah, it says they cursed be he that removed the landmark. That's why I went to Deuteronomy 37, because look, that lets you know that all the curses is going to go on them, so they're cursed for doing those things. Esau is jacked up. And not just did they remove the landmarks here in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, they did it all over the world, man. This right here is just like a little taste of history in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia, man. All right, you got Proverbs chapter 23, verse 10. All right. This is the book of Proverbs chapter 23, verse 10. It says, remove not the old landmark and enter not into the fields of the fatherless, man. So what they do, they remove the landmark, then they enter into our lands, man. And took it over. But it was all through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushua, man. All right? It was all through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushua. And as Sirach 12 and 10 says, never trust thine enemy, because his iron rusted swords is wickedness, man. All right? So, hey, man. We weren't supposed to trust them niggas from the rip. Oh, matter of fact, the guy Peter Lycon. Okay, now this is a little information I dug up on the last name. It says the surname Lycon first found in Glamorgan, where they held a family seat as lords of the manor of in Neath. So I gotta look that up. But from that I got Second Ezra chapter 6, verse 57. Which reads, and now, O Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushua, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us, man. So yeah, man, that's why it says the surname Lycon, first found in Glamorgan, where they held a family seat as lords of the manor of Neath. So they began to become lords over us. That's why when Yahweh Shah comes back, he's known as the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, man. All right, but jumping back into the article, because this thing kind of long, man. You could, if you're interested in reading more, you can look it up. Just Google the history on McPherson Square, 1890 in Kensington, But all right. It says Swedish settlers, including Peter Nilsson Lycon, also spelled. It says Peter Lycon received a land grant for Poor Island in 1681. In 1687, Peter gave Poor Island as a gift to his son, Nils Lycon. Upon his wedding to marry Gaddisberg, Nils and Maria raised seven. Gaddisberg and Maria raised 7 daughters at Poor Island. Nils worked as a miller. He died in 1721 and is buried in the churchyard at Gloria Dea, where he was an active member. Poor Island was divided. Here we go, man. Poor Island was divided amongst his widow and daughters. 2 Nilsson daughters continued to live at Poor Island, Elizabeth and Mary. 1722, Elizabeth married Mason Keene. There we go. That's what I wanted, Keene. And not long after, Maria married Haynes Keene. Mason was Mayans was a cousin of Haynes' father. And on October 5th, 1727, Miller's daughter Anne Lyacon Rambo sold her share of Poor Island to Peter Keene, Haynes' brother. Over the next 25 years, Peter Keene acquired all of Poor Island, all of Poor Island, with the use of slave labor, developed it into a plantation called Keene's Place. So check this out. I want to get Psalms chapter 49 and 11, when it talks about their inward thoughts, is that they're gonna pass the land down. Yeah, because look, he named it after himself. He named the plantation Keene's Place, man. So it's funny how when I sit up there, man, it's like, yo, man, like I was there before something. I don't know. It's real spiritual up there. But this is Psalms chapter 49:11. It says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call the lands after their own name. So what Peter Keene did, he named the plantation Keene's Place, man. All right? He named it Keene's Place. And look, read that again. It says, over the next 25 years, Peter Keene acquired all Poor Island, and with the use of slave labor, developed it into a plantation called Keene's Place. Okay, so look, the slave labor, now that's a curse right here. We're going to go to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and start at verse 33. Because man, slave labor, that's cheap labor, but we lazy now. 28 and 33. Con. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 33. It says, the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always. So if you building a plantation, you on a plantation, what the hell, what's going to happen to you? You're going to be crushed and oppressed all day long, man. All right? It says, verse 34, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes, which thou shalt see, man. So you think this went from a Gadite hunting ground, all right, to a plantation, man. But yo, Esau gonna have to pay for all this, man. All right, I'm gonna read a little more because a lot of these things. All right, Peter Keene was born on Sunday. Trying to give you a little history of him, of his kids. Gives you a history on the guy William McPherson. I'm gonna skip down. So I want to get to a point, and then I'm gonna close up. All right, here we go. I'm gonna just read this last paragraph. Like I said, man, if you're interested in this story, you can look it up. It's called History on McPherson Square, 1890. I just found it interesting because it's a plantation, and they really don't talk about too many plantations up here in the northern regions of America, so to speak. But all right, hopping down. Matter of fact, no, we're gonna read this because it's actually a library now. All right, it says William McPherson was born in 1756 and grew up at Mount Pleasant in Fairmount Park. Which Fairmount Park, I believe that's another site of another plantation, man. Because if you ride, it gotta be another plantation. But I don't want to give out any false information, so I'll look into it even further. It says grew up at Mount Pleasant in Fairmount Park in the early 1770s. He received a commission as a lieutenant in the British Army. When the Revolutionary War first broke out in April 1775, William William sided with England. He admonished his brother John for joining the Continental Army. However, after John was killed at the Battle of Quebec in December of 1775, William had a change of heart. He resigned his commission with the British and offered his services to the Continental Army. He met with George Washington, and soon afterwards, Congress offered him a commission as a brevet major. A brevet major. He served as an aide de camp for Generals Lafayette, St. Clair, and Lincoln, and was at Yorktown in October of 1781 when Cornwallis surrendered the British Army. William returned home to Philadelphia, and in 1783 he married Margaret Stout. In 1784, William purchased Reynolds Keene's share of Keene's Place, and in 1787 he had a mansion built where the current McPherson Square Library now stands. William renamed Keene's Place as Stoughton in honor of his wife's family. I'm gonna stop right there, man, because it's just going on. It goes on and on and on and on and on to the history of all the way up until present day. But yeah, man, that's interesting information. And I came across it, and I was sharing it with a brother last night. He's like, man, you should do a video on that, man. So with that, man, I hope that the lesson was edifying. You know, and it's always good to research, like in the areas you be at. Just look up information. Because, you know, our ancestors, this place was built off the back of our ancestors, man. And you can always link it up with the scriptures too, man. You know? And then just looking at it spiritually, like, damn, man, you got all these people out here fucked up, man. You know? And they go up in that park, like I said, and just get high, man. You know? And then they got the Romans that sit on top of the hill, right where their library at, in the picture where it shows you it looks like basically like they built a mansion, so that it's like they protecting that mansion. So the Romans, and those would be the let's say I seen servants on horses, man, and servants on horses and saints in the field, princes in the field. You know, that's still going strong right now. And yo, they actually have horse police up there, man. I've actually seen police on horses up there, man. So everything in that park is all spiritual, man. You know? And that's like, yo, man. Oh, man. This is like bugging me out right now, blowing my mind because now I'm really thinking about a lot of things that happened. It's like, yo, man. The Most High going to destroy this place, man. This place got to go. And it's all that information in that library, and these people don't even go in there to learn nothing. They just go to use the Wi-Fi. Little dumb shit. Don't look up nothing, man. You know? And with that, man, I hope that this lesson was edifying. And I hope it goes out to who needs to hear it. And I hope I wasn't rambling, and I hope it made sense to you. To the next lesson, I'm going to say, Shalom, Nasarawa.